Everyone, it's Dr. Markham. A lot of people have been asking me about what do I make in my shake in the afternoon. So it's about 2:30, 3 o'clock. I've done my intermittent fasting, so I haven't eaten anything since dinner last night. And I'll just show you, some of the things I put together for my super shake, and that's my first meal, the breakfast, so to speak, because I'm breaking the fast. So the main base of it is going to be it's a fair trade organic coconut milk. And this is the full fat one because we want the fat. The fat is good. It's a healthy fat for our body, cell function, brain function, etc. So I'm going to use about half a can of this, getting as much as I'm going to shake it up a bit. I'm also going to be adding a little bit of organic kefir. So if you don't know what this is a dairy product that's fermented. They're fermented. There's 2 billion bacteria in this, the healthy bacteria, which will help colonize the intestinal bacteria, the intestinal flora, the gut microbiome, as we say. Very important for that sort of intestinal health and having the right sort of bacteria on the inside. And so Organic Meadow is a pretty good company, and if it's not that one, I'll usually be using Liberté Organic as well, one of these two. This one hasn't been opened yet, and as you can see, the lid's kind of puffy. Like that, you can see the little dome action because there's actually like a fermenting action which produces some gas that comes off it, and it's actually kind of normal to see that sort of bubble there. So that means there is some active bacteria working and doing their job to ferment these sugars. So basically, the sugars are fermented out of the milk, and what's left is more the basic elements of the proteins and the fats and those kind of things. So it's a bit of a healthier thing and less of a sugar load on us. I'm also going to be adding just like a handful, trying to get more vegetables in during the day, leafy greens and stuff. So this is actually just a field greens organic mix. I'm just going to grab a handful of this and throw it in as well. If somebody has something like small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, or they get bloated every time they're eating vegetables and things like this, you could actually steam these briefly. Like just put a pan, put some water in it and steam them, or just put them in some hot water for maybe about 30 seconds or so. And that will help to break down the fiber, the non-digestible fibers that are in here, the oxalic acid and things like that. And so that can be helpful for ease of digestion, so you would do that quickly and then just drain it off and throw that in there. To add more greens, I actually use this. This is called the Amazing Grass. They have a lot of different flavors. This one specifically is acai berry, but I also have their chocolate version too, with good Dutch chocolate as well. So this is just basically dried organic vegetables and herbs and things like that. It's a good mix of so many different things. So I put a little bit of that in there. And then I'm also going to be adding organic broccoli sprouts. So broccoli sprouts are probably one of the high-end nutrient-dense microfoods that you can get. So I got this at Nature's Emporium. They have those there, and I add these regularly to my smoothies, sprinkle it on my salads, and I try to go through a fair bit of this because this is really, really dense with a lot of micronutrients, a lot of vitamins and minerals and things. When you actually sprout seeds, all the vitamins and the minerals come out of it and kind of get liberated, and it's very, very bioavailable. And the protein source for this shake specifically, I'm going to be using the hemp force protein. So this is actually a protein coming from the hemp seeds, and it's very bioavailable. It's a little less heavy on the digestive system than whey proteins. I do use whey proteins as well, kind of getting grass-fed whey proteins and things, but specifically this one is a pretty good one. It's sweetened only with stevia, and it's got some other things in it too, like acai, mesquite, flax seeds as well, chia seeds. So there's a lot of good sort of fiber as well. So there's about 15 grams of proteins and 7 grams of fiber per serving in that. So that's a very light, and you could actually order this if you go to my website, drmarcolikes.com, which I'll have the website here. You just click on the one that says ONNIT, ONNIT. That's the name of the company that makes this. And you could go onto that site there and order this, and that could come to your door. And they have this one, and they also have like a chocolate mocha kind of maca flavor. And to add a little bit more of some healthy fats in there, I'm actually going to be adding some almond butter, raw almond butter to it. So that'll give it a little more thickness and consistency, and the fats from the almonds and just having fats in general in your shakes are a good idea because they help with a lot of the nutrient transport. So a lot of the vitamins and minerals, if you didn't have fats in your shake, they wouldn't really be transported into your body that well. So adding some sort of fat source, so I'd probably put in like maybe about a tablespoon of this. It's going to be a vanilla almond more or less, this one, with a little bit of a zing of blueberry in there too. So I'm going to be adding, I keep my bananas frozen in this bag in the fridge, and I always suck out the air so there's less air in it. I'll probably end up using about half of a banana because I don't want to be putting too much of a glycemic load and too much sugar blasting into it. And then I'll probably put in about half cup of organic wild blueberries here. The coconut milk's been in the fridge, and all the it's all hardened on the top. This is most of the fat stuff, so I'm actually going to be scraping a fair bit of the fat into here. So I got most of the fat off of the top. I'm going to use about half of the can, and then I'll add just half of the water. So that will be good enough for another shake on another day. So now that I've added the liquid component, I'm just going to add some of the greens. So I just grab a handful of this. I'm not really measuring it. I don't really care how much it is, but just to get the leafy greens in there and the vegetable amount. So I'm actually going to blend that up so smooth it out a little bit. And I'm also going to add the broccoli sprouts as well. So once again, this is just a handful of these. These kind of have a bit of a zing to them. So I don't want to add too much more than maybe like a couple of teaspoons. So I'm going to be adding the greens as well. Going very green with this one. So I'm going to add the vanilla hemp force protein. I'm going to do 2 scoops of this. Add in about a tablespoon of almond butter. Okay, so now I'm going to add about half a banana and the blueberries, and that'll be pretty much it for the shake. If it gets a little too thick, I'll probably just add a little water or maybe a little more kefir or almond milk to smooth it out a little bit more. Alright, so there it is. Turned out really green at the beginning, but then after the blueberries it's a nice blue color. And I blended it up a fair bit, so it should be a nice, very thick, kind of, lots of fat in there, lots of good healthy fat. And we'll see how it goes. Well, it's not crazy sweet, actually, because with all the greens and things like that, there's a good contrast. You taste the almonds. The hemp force protein is fairly sweet on its own, so that helps a bit. And the kefir, a little bit sour. The coconut milk, not necessarily that sweet, but just overall it's a pretty good picture, not overly sweet. Just a good amount of flavor to it. You can feel the blueberries and the almonds and through the almond butter. It's actually not bad. So that's going to be my lunch. And then I won't have anything else until dinner. So just 2 meals in the day within that about 8-hour window, and that's my intermittent fasting schedule. And I don't do that every day. It depends on how my schedule is, but that's how it'll work. So that's your health tip for this week. Go out and get a good blender if you don't have one, and try that out. See how that goes with you. And we'll see you next time. Bye.